She never wanted me to be in the kitchen because kitchen life is goodbye Christmas, goodbye New Year's, goodbye Valentine's.
Most people don't realize that you're sacrificing a lot.
You sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
Your birthdays, your anniversaries. If your anniversary falls on a Friday night and you're slam busy, I'm sorry, anniversary, you're now put to the side and you're working service. If you don't love what you're doing, you're going to hate what you're doing.
Let's get started.
That's awesome. Let's do this.
How's it going, man?
So far, so good.
Good. Thank you for joining the first episode officially with, I don't even know the name of this podcast yet, but thank you for coming here.
The Bee The BanhMi podcast.
So I actually wanted to know, like your origin story. I never really got to talk to you that much, because you were busy with your business and everything too. I just want to know, like, who is Joel? Who are you?
I was born here in Canada. I was born in Edmonton, actually.
Edmonton,
unfortunately.
Wow.
Then my dad got a job with Hilton Hotels, and we moved over to Australia.
Yeah.
And then from there, we moved over to Indonesia. Started out in Jakarta. Yeah. We were there for about 2 years, and then we got a job offer for the Hilton Hotel in Bali to go there and be part of the opening team.
Wait, so you were in Australia too?
Australia straight from here when I was about 5 months old.
Oh, wow.
The Gold Coast. We were there for, about 2 years.
Were you like a kid or is
Baby.
But you were just a baby, but you were traveling all these places when you're
5 months old. So 5 months old and got taken away from.
So you were always on the fly growing up and you never really have like a planted environment or?
I guess planted environment started when we eventually moved to Bali. Okay. So we had moved there in about, I would say like 1990.
1990.
So I'd been about 3 or 4 years old.
Okay. So that's when you started to form some memories.
Yeah. And that's where we stayed until I was 18.
So that's where you basically grew up.
That's where I grew up. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. So we're in Bali for, I don't know, all up about 25 years or so.
Right.
That's me.
So I guess what were kind of your experiences like from what was it like growing up in Indonesia? Like you must have been like a minority there.
Definitely my minority. Yeah. But for me, it was normal. Like we grew up, that's where I grew up. So it was nothing
you didn't feel odd, right?
No, it was just, we had a beach that was normal. Going out to the beach and going surfing and seeing the sunsets on the beach. It was all this regular life. It was when we came back to Canada and we got to see the mountains and we were like, you guys kidding? You guys get this in your backyard? And my cousin would be like, are you kidding? You get what you have in your backyard? I'm like, what do you mean? A beach?
Yeah.
Like it was so different to come back here. Yeah. I would spend an hour in Safeway just in the candy aisle, looking at candies going, there's so much selection you guys have. So it was just a very different way to grow up, but it was very normal to us.
Like they didn't have that in Indonesia, basically.
No. And my cousins always looked at us and they envied us for being able to live where we lived and the lifestyle that we had. But it was just,
So
what way of life.
Was Indonesia just like, I've never been to Indonesia. Is it like not as developed?
It's very third world. It's very underdeveloped, especially back then.
Because we always think Bali is like this sort of like amazing tourist honeymoon destination.
It's a tourist destination, but there's no clean water. All the water you have, it has to be bottled. Brushing your teeth in the sink. It's a little bit on the sketchier side, especially if you're not from there, where you don't grow up kind of doing that. You need to brush your teeth with bottled water.
Dang.
So yeah, it's just a very different life.
You grew up there. Obviously, you saw your dad, working in this industry. I'm assuming he's traveling as a chef.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How did you get influenced into this sort of industry? Like, did you want to be like when you were a kid? Oh, I want to do what my dad's doing.
Never.
Wow.
Never. Like I work in the kitchen with him sometimes, and like him and my mom at home, dropping up things and making apple crumbles and doing that kind of stuff. But I never thought it would be a profession. I always wanted to be a vet.
A veterinarian?
Yeah.
No way. Really?
Yeah, that was like my earliest childhood memory of like what I wanted to do. I loved animals.
Yeah.
So I was like a vet. That's right up my alley. When I got older, I proved that it wasn't the thing I wanted to do.
Right. Why is that though? Like, how come like that veterinarian, was it because Indonesia had a lot of wild animals and then you got to,
I just think I really loved animals.
oh,
So anyway, I could help them with the kind of the way I wanted to do it. But
yeah,
I grew up and just realized that maybe wasn't my actual passion. I just like animals, but the whole other side of it wasn't for me.
okay. So then how did you discover that the chef was the route that you wanted to take?
Well, I was doing my horticulture here in Canada. So doing my landscape gardening degree. And that's what got me back to Indonesia to go back there in about 2012 or 13. And
Wait, you have a horticulture, like, is it like a degree, like in
no, I went to Olds College and I started my schooling there. Halfway through, one of my dad's friends in Indonesia got his landscape architect got really sick, and they needed someone that could pretty much translate from English to Indonesian with the guests and with the workers. And I was in that industry. I was kind of getting into it, and they asked me to come back and work for a hotel building all their gardens.
No way.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of got back there.
So, because you could communicate both in Indonesian or
English.
It's Javanese, right? Or is it Javanese?
Bali is Balinese,
Okay.
but Indonesian is spoken all around Indonesia. So it's like a language for all the islands, and every island has its own kind of dialect. So we all understand Indonesian, and then Bali has Balinese, Java Javanese, and so on and so on. So
It's just like a different tone, like, but the same.
It's
You can understand each other.
you can understand each other when you're speaking Indonesian, but like Javanese and Balinese is very different. Balinese and Indonesian very different.
This whole time I thought you were speaking Javanese. I don't know it's called Javanese.
So the whole time Indonesian, and then each island has their own kind of dialect. It's also pretty different compared to the national. Yeah. So got back to Indonesia to do these gardens for this company, and like after my contract was finished, my dad asked if I wanted to experience kitchen again, to the kitchen there. And to me, I didn't really want to, but that kept me in Bali. So I was like, let's go, let's get into a kitchen.
Yeah.
And gone to a kitchen the first week, I was like, this is what the kitchen is.
Yeah.
And I fell in love.
You fell in love with that intensity.
The intensity, you can yell at someone, and after that, you can give each other a pound, go have a beer. And it's service is intense. And I like that. I thrived in it. So then from there, went to Australia, went to Melbourne, worked in like a kind of a high-end Asian fusion restaurant.
Yeah. Where in Australia?
In Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh. Worked at a restaurant called The Smith. Killer food. Got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Big time. And figured out that this was definitely something I wanted to go forward.
Go for it. Was your dad with you, or you just traveled solo? You were with a company?
Travel solo. Working holiday visa, and finished my contract or finished my visa in Australia, and came back here and got into kitchens and haven't looked back.
So from 3 to 18, you were in Indonesia, and then 18, you came back here.
3 to 18 in Indonesia, came back here I actually came back here to Mount Royal to go to and do my business degree.
No,
I did my first year and failed every course.
yeah,
I partied too much, and
don't worry, man.
I know the whole thing at 18-year-old.
Oh yeah, that's so.
Figured out that business wasn't really the thing for me, so I started working. And I got working landscaping, and that's what got me to horticulture. And then from horticulture got me back to Indonesia.
So you were bouncing back and forth after 18, and then you were kind of still kind of discovering what you wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess, was your dad involved with a lot of your, the path?
He got me into the kitchen in Bali first, which he never wanted me to be in a kitchen. Because kitchen life is goodbye Christmas, goodbye New Year's, goodbye Valentine's. Those are days that you're busy as hell. So
yeah,
if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to hate what you're doing and everything. So
most people don't realize that you're sacrificing a lot.
You sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
Your birthdays, your anniversaries. If your anniversary falls on a Friday night and you're slam busy, I'm sorry, anniversary, you're now put to the side and you're working service. So definitely had to make sure that I liked what I was doing, and I really did. So it was easy for me to get up and go to work and do 12 hours, 14-hour days without blinking an eye. It was fun.
So did you like love it initially? Right away visit it, you knew it, or did you kind of slow?
First week in there, I was like, this is a place for me. So many different changes. It's just like one meal after the other. It's just constantly changing, which is why I think I thrive in that environment.
The challenges, right? Like from food, the art and cooking, art and making this, and then seeing other people enjoy it.
Not stuck in front of a computer screen, which I find very challenging. So being on my feet and doing what I do,
it's too boring.
Right? It is too boring.
It's too boring. I get it. Absolutely. You got to be doing something. So then I guess, you know, how like you transition outside of the hotel, the restaurant scene in there, and then transition into Canada. Did you like open Expat Asia right away afterwards, or?
No, I came back here and I started working at a restaurant called Anju under Chef Roy O.
Yes.
It's a high-end Korean restaurant in Calgary. Yeah. They were in the top 10. The food is killer. The way they ran their restaurant was great. So I kind of wanted to learn all I could from him and from the restaurant, the type of food they were serving. And that kind of brought us up to Expat Asia. We were going to be partnering with some other people that they had a restaurant here already.
So the name wasn't actually Jeff's and yours, or it was?
No, the name Expat Asia is ours, but we were planning on partnering with the group of these two girls,
right,
and forming an Indonesian restaurant, which we did a taste of Calgary, and we decided to go our separate ways. And they had their own stall at the hall, and we were like, hey, might as well do our own thing. We're kind of already kind of in it. And we came up with the name Expat Asia because we were expats in Asia. So now we come back here and we're bringing back kind of the food we grew up with and the flavors that we grew up with.
Combined with all the experience that you had at Anju as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And then also having your Western flair in there with Asian food. So you've got your the burger that's got chili inside of it and all these different herbs and spices that you wouldn't typically see on a burger. Our cauliflower, deep fried cauliflower on like a spicy mayo. You don't really see that very often.
I've never seen that anywhere else. Yeah. You're the only place that does that.
Yeah. So that's kind of inspired us to open up our own thing and do food our way and see if Calgary likes it.
So from what I've heard, like you've had some iterations. Like at the beginning, you were selling curries.
Yeah.
Right. And now all of a sudden, like, what was the story? Like,
when we first opened, we wanted to be, you have to be able to serve your customer in under minutes. That was our mentality.
In AVENIDA. It had to be
more like a fast food kind of a place. And what's the faster thing than putting stuff on a plate and being able to serve it?
Right.
So that was our kind of initial thought.
What was the first menu then? What were the, like, we had go into detail, like what we were serving?
Yeah, we had a beef rendang, a Thai red chicken curry, and like a Balinese pork dish that we'd sell separately. We did a sampler plate, which had all three of them on there. Pork belly was never even part of our menu. We put it on special one weekend and we sold out of our 3 pork bellies that we bought. Yeah, about 2 hours. All of it gone. We were like,
and that's
okay, this comes on our menu. That's how we kind of built our menu too. We make specials and it's a specials peel it. Yeah, it's on our menu and our worst seller gets kicked off.
I've heard you sold hot dogs before too.
Yeah, we opened up a hot dog stand
in the same hall, right?
In the same hall, 5 days before COVID hit and everything got shut down. So probably not the best time to start a business, especially when you couldn't sit inside, you couldn't come inside. There was no personal interaction with your customers. So to try and build a brand with nobody around was we shut down. So it just didn't work.
That must have been a really challenging time in the business because a lot of businesses couldn't operate for
absolutely. But that's what made us change our menu. COVID was almost a blessing in disguise for us. We had to pivot. We changed what we were doing totally. We put all of our curries that we were serving out fresh. We were now making the curries and freezing them. We added another 4 or 5 to our line. Right. And then Fraser that we sell 500 gram curries to people. And they can thaw at home, make their own rice, make their own veg, and they've got a killer curry.
That's amazing. A lot of businesses, they don't know how to adapt.
Yeah.
In a different environment. Yeah. And you guys had to adapt or else.
Yeah. Well, at first, when we first opened up, one of the guys at the hall Ali, who has the Indian restaurant, he was like, guys, make a freezer, do your whole frozen line. And we are like, we're chefs. We don't do frozen food. And go on us. And we're like, no, we don't do that kind of stuff. And COVID hit. We're like, frozen line, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. So it made us smarter. We turned our menu into something more interactive. People can see us cooking. We get to plate the food out in front of them. We pork belly, we chop fresh each time too. So it's not just put a curry on the plate and here you go.
Yeah, there was more, I guess, you can see more of people seeing that effort.
More flair and use a little bit more of your skill to kind of do the food that we do now. And it's worked out amazingly well for us.
Isn't that interesting? The higher your standards, the more it just grows. Everybody loves that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess, so you changed your menu because of the pork belly and you kind of base your whole menu around that. What about the cauliflower? How was that? Did you have that at the beginning?
No. We used to do competitions inside the hall. So it'd be a soup competition and we'd all make a soup and we'd hire judges. Judges would come in, they would judge the soups and you would know if you were on the top 3, top 5, top 10, whatever it was.
I was not here for that.
This was pre new ownership.
Really?
Yeah.
So the old ownership did like a competition with
the market manager, he came up and we did, like, now we did festivals, whereas then we did competitions. So it was actually the people going against each other. So we had a garlic competition, and part of the garlic competition, we decided to do this cauliflower dish. We did a tiger cauliflower and a tiger chicken, which I thought the chicken was going to sell out like crazy and it's going to go on our menu. And we sold like 5 chicken dishes. And we sold 150 cauliflower dishes. So then again, it was on special and we did a competition and it sold well. So that came on our menu. And within 2 weeks, we were like, let's put the pork belly and cauliflower together. And Crack and Collie was born.
Born from that. Yeah. Just adding the 2 of the best dishes into one. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to experience that. Oh, did you think that was a good thing for the market? Like that?
It was great.
Yeah, the community loved it too.
Absolutely. And you could talk shit to other vendors and be like, mine's better than yours, blah, blah, blah. And it was just a fun market to start. Yeah, not like bashing someone, but you could definitely talk a little smack.
It's like some healthy competition.
100%.
Do that again, actually. That's a good idea. I guess, I mean, we don't have to go into like the market. Obviously, the previous owner also did some things that were wrong too, right?
They just weren't, their mentality was a little bit different to what the current owners are. Yeah. They were kind of like, how do we get as much money out of you, so that we can get our money right now? Whereas the market now is kind of like, how do we make you make as much money? Yeah. You make as much money, because if you make money, then you can pay me. Right. And that's how they make their money. Right. By rent and so on. So it's a very different mentality on how to get rent out of.
You can kind of feel that vibe from our 2 ownerships now. Yeah. I think we've came at the right time.
We came at a great time.
We were lucky at that too.
Older owners were just.
I've heard the stories.
To work with.
I've heard the stories, man.
Yeah.
So I actually really wanted to know, like, statistically, the F&B industry is probably the hardest industry to be in business.
Why not? Absolutely.
Like, why take that risk?
Well, we decided to take a risk on a smaller stall. You're not building a restaurant, spending $1 million.
Right. Building it out and all that stuff. So starting the stall.
We didn't need servers. We didn't need a front of house. There's no liquor license. So it was a very much smaller operation that if it did go south, it wasn't like you're losing $1 million.
Right.
We thought our food was good. We just was kind of waiting to see how Calgary took it. Remember, we grew up in Indonesia, which is a Muslim country. And so having pork on the menu.
Yeah, that's why it's
Bali different. Bali is Hindu, which is, there's lots of pork, but we were just in the mentality of Indonesia and people are a little bit scared of pork, blah, blah, blah.
Right, because it's the majority customer base.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So when we put a pork belly on special and it sold well, it was kind of a change the trajectory for us. We're like, oh, okay. So we don't have to be so handcuffed to what we were growing up with. We can kind of make food now for the Calgary market, and we know they like this, we know they like this. And we just kind of hope that they liked the rest of our menu, and it went down well. We try not to Westernize our food very much, which was part of the reason why we got into the restaurant industry. Because a lot of the Asian food in Calgary, well, a lot's really good, but a lot of it was very Westernized. So we wanted to kind of bring a little more authentic dishes. When people ask how spicy is it, we say authentically spiced. I love that. So like it's just we just wanted to see if Calgary was ready for what we were able to offer, and the response has been absolutely amazing. So 7 years later, we decided let's go on and do a proper sit-down restaurant, and Ibu is in the middle of being born.
I want to get into that too. Like, I just want to know, like, what were some of like the biggest challenges in Expat Asia? Because 7 years, I mean, you've recapped it quite shortly there, but I'm sure there's been many challenges in that journey itself.
Yeah, I would say COVID was kind of smack in the middle of when we're trying to get our feet wet and kind of get going on things.
Because you started in 2019, right?
We started December 2018. So yeah, pretty much 2019. And then mid 2020 was when kind of the world shut down. And we base all of our sales off. We get the
in-person traffic,
human interaction. We get to sell our stuff here, take a sample of this. So we can educate people on what we're actually selling versus trying to explain it to them, which is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Good thing was though, our market was considered essential. You couldn't stay there and eat your food, but people were still able to go shop, walk through. Whereas every other restaurant, they rely on online sales only, skip dishes, DoorDash. So they couldn't really talk to their customer.
Right. They would lose the margins on the couriers.
We were able to actually have that human interaction
and still kind of sell like frozen products. And then
we didn't do amazingly well, but we were able to survive during that period of happy time, especially there was like an 8-month time where it was like everyone was strict inside. No one was going out.
Right.
And I remember that it was rough for sure.
So in a way, this market kind of like, they had a ceiling obviously, but you could still operate.
Right? We could still operate. Yeah. A whole lot more compared to what other restaurants.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess no other challenging moments. You didn't have like
I guess it's all been challenging finding good staff to run your business, to help you with your business. Us being so far away from kind of downtown core, it was hard to find motivated chefs. So you were looking outside the realm of actual chefs, and there was a lot of training involved.
Obviously, there's ego too, right?
Absolutely.
Ego is with chefs sometimes.
100%, right? But we found that out in the market, being so far away, you didn't get the most skilled people, but the people that came in and applied with us were absolutely amazing, and they learned in 2 seconds, and they weren't kind of snobbish and stuck up, being like, I can only work for this person, I can only work here, I can only work there.
Yeah, you don't want that type of.
You don't want that type. Yeah. So we were very lucky in the staff that we had, and they helped us make Expat Asia kind of what it is today. And we're definitely one of the more successful places in the hall. And yeah, so they've been great to us.
Wow. I mean, I guess this might be a bit of a personal question, but did you ever feel like there was a time where you felt like giving up?
Not really a time about giving up, but
it's in your nature to do.
I think it was the time where I thought everything was coming to an end, was when our old landlords, they got evicted. And we came in one day to a note on the door saying, please arrange a time with the landlord to come and grab all of your equipment from your restaurant and get out. Like, you're done. And we were kind of like, what's going on here? We found out that they weren't paying their bills and they got evicted. And now them getting evicted means all of us are evicted. So that was kind of the time we're like, oh shit, we're done? I better go find a job somewhere right now and work for somebody. It was the time that I was a little bit nervous for sure. And it was like 3-4 days later, Daryl came in with his fresh and local market, and he took over the lease, and brought it all back, and we're opening up, and we're opened up now and thriving better than ever. But it was definitely a 3-day scary time where I just sat at home going,
You were like in limbo. What do I
what
do?
the hell do I do?
Yeah, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, should I start applying at places? What's the go here?
Yeah.
So that would be like the only time that I felt defeated was that.
I guess, you know, this is another deep question too, is like, what drives you? Like, why do, like, you know that this industry is the hardest industry, you know, like what drives you to do all these things and to learn?
Well, I always wanted to have a life where I could go out and eat whenever I wanted and not have to worry about my bank accounts. I want to go on holidays. I now have a daughter, my wife, and I want to experience all the experiences I can with them. And without me working my ass off, it's just not going to happen. I don't consider going to Bragg Creek a holiday. I want to go to Europe. I want to go to Indonesia. I want to go places, right?
Yeah.
So that's my motivation is I want to
Right now.
create experiences with my family and, do the best I can.
Whereas before you had your daughter, before you met your wife, what drove you before?
I wanted to have killer food. I wanted to kind of rub shoulders with the top chefs in Calgary.
Competitive.
Oh yeah. When I was working at Anju and we got to do all their events.
Yeah.
We were talking with all the top chefs from the top restaurants. Yeah. And I started my own thing. It was like, I've got to start from scratch. This kind of sucks. So that I wanted to be back up there with these guys and, doing it all again. So that was definitely a motivation for me. It was to be one of the better places in Calgary.
So that you already had that after, like that thought in your mind that you were going to get up there. And then this is where you came up with building Bee.
Yeah. I think it was just, we'd already proven our concept at the Hall, Expat Asia.
Yeah. Before we go, like, I want to know, like, what does Ibu mean?
Ibu means mother in Indonesia. Why we call it mother is because a lot of recipes that date back hundreds of years, it's all passed down through your grandmas and moms and the women in your family. So we wanted to kind of
In Indonesian culture, right?
a lot of Asian cultures is passed down through the women in the family. So we wanted it to be kind of, we take those recipes and as chefs, we take them and change them and turn them into what they are today, but it all comes from a original place. So that's kind of where we got the name from. So our food's not Indonesian. It's definitely a contemporary cuisine with an Asian flair to it. Right. So it's not Indonesian. It's not Chinese. It's not anything. It's
a mixture in a way of it. It's you, basically.
Yeah.
You kind of grew up.
Yeah. It's mixture of the flavors that we grew up with. There's a bit of Western flair in there as well. So we've got a burger. We've got a couple of dishes that you'll recognize, but they've got that Asian twist on it.
Is that why you named the restaurant Ibu too?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. My mother, we called her Ibu. So that's what her nickname was when we grew up, and we called her that all the way up until yeah.
Wow. I guess what was it like building Ibu? You know, like what was that? You shared some stories. I'm sure
it's been a challenge. Dealing with a building that's now it's 80 years old.
80?
So 80. So it's got some characteristics. It's got a lot of characteristics, and a lot of those characteristics have to be fixed. So you get into a wall, and all of a sudden, this is wrong, that's wrong. And you've got leaks here and leaks there. So it was.
Who says that? Who says all these things are wrong?
Yeah. Say it again, sorry?
Like, who says that? Who says that this is wrong? This is wrong. Like the regulators, or
the things that are wrong with the building. It was just basic stuff. The floor being wavy. And I take out the whole subfloor and then put a new floor and then level that out. It's just an old building, so things were falling apart a little bit. So we've kind of had to bring it all back to the studs, fix all the broken parts.
Why choose that 80-year-old building? Is it because of the location?
Location is, you can't get better. Right. 20,000 cars going past every single day.
Right.
You're in one of the most affluential neighborhoods in Calgary. You're right across from Mount Royal, which is the richest neighborhood in Alberta.
Yeah. They're also building around a lot of stuff too in the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Exactly.
So this is like a long-term
wait outside of Margaloup, and Margaloup is crazy right now.
Yeah.
But we're just outside of the hell that
it's still
a destination that people will go to because they know it's not in that
construction area
realm. Yeah. We have free parking all around us as well, which is a huge thing.
100%. How we could get it set up like this where we just record stuff like this, because I think that would have been like gold.
Honestly, we could just talk and then but again, I'm behind, so it's
no. We're gonna have like I'm not figuring out like we're gonna interrupt.
I also don't want to talk shit about the people in the market because I'll talk shit about other restaurants for sure, but in a respectful way. But the guys in the market, that's kind of our crew.
It's our family. It's not 100. I think you know they can do better. Yeah, I mean, I want to approach that like I think speaking the truth, and you're in a way you're actually helping them. You're not being fake.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. When I'm going out and I really want to help someone, you know, it's how do I say it? Like the truth. Like they need to hear it. You really care about it.
Yes. Yeah. I think hearing it, Danny, you're doing this wrong. I think I see you on your phone all day. Get off your phone. You'll love your business. Versus being like, hey, world, Danny's on his phone all day. This is what he has to do. I'd be like, you're saying that to everybody. Versus coming up to you and saying directly to you.
You know what it is? Society is so sensitive now. And then you have to kind of baby that. And you're kind of letting the other person say it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But I've had to change the way I do everything, because I used to be the do this, get the fuck out. Versus now it's like, do it this way. How? You don't need that won't work. How about try it like this? How about try it like this? How about try it just 50 other ways?
Yeah.
Oh, it still doesn't work? That's okay, I'll do it. That's my how I do it now, because if not, people will leave you. Especially the Canadian born people that are very sensitive.
It's I don't know what the right term would be. Like society's changed.
Yeah.
You have to be so careful with what you say, you know?
People don't have as much of a thick skin anymore.
And they don't.
Which is why
you can just see what happened recently, right? You have to speaking out, people get hurt, get shot, which is insane.
There you go. Exactly what I mean. Because he had a different point of view, and people struggled to debate against him, and all of a sudden that deserves a bullet. No. And wild, actually.
And this ties into like why like it's important to hear the truth so you can like, take action.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of blaming other people, because society will get better if you look at yourself.
Yeah.
Focus on how to do better. You know, focus on not being mediocre, distracted with your phone, not talk to customers. You know what I mean? Like,
but there's a new way of doing it, and I'm still learning that proper way of doing it.
I think compassion and speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Because I think if you approach it with compassion, because you'll give off that energy, like you really truly care about the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it depends on the other person too, if they want to feel that.
Yeah.
They can kind of like, oh, this person's just trying to look this, or they have the ego vision, and there's no, all you can have is you give off that energy, you try.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah. Oh yeah.
Get back to the script.
No, I love these conversations. We're gonna figure some of this stuff out later on, right, Xavier? What were we gonna say actually?
I wanted to say like, so I was a pretty big dude, like 236 pounds, and like I'd always complain like, guys, why am I so fat to all my friends, right?
Yeah.
But see, they'd always tell me what I wanted to. Like, oh, it's okay, you know, you can always try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Except for my one friend. He looked at me and he said, no, you're fat because you don't want to work out. He said, what have you done? He's like, you went to McDonald's and ate a poutine with a Big Mac before dinner. Yeah, exactly. He was like, you're eating a lot of food and you're not doing anything. He was like, stop complaining about things that you can change easily. You just said you have to do it. He was like, everyone's telling you what you want to hear and you're not going to change. He said, I will tell you the truth. He was like, you just have to stop eating like all these fast foods. He was like, you need to, you know, be better with your diet. And he said, you just got to pick up the weights. He said, that's all you got to do. And at the time I was like, dang, that hurts. But at the same time, I was like, he's right.
Yeah, the mentality of like, screw you.
Yeah.
Actually.
And out of that friend group, he's the one that truly cared about you the most.
Yeah. And he's still my friend today. He's my closest friend. Like he tells me what I like, the truth. Even if it hurts me, like at the time I was like, dang, like Eric, he doesn't understand. But that I took a long time to think about it. I was like, I have to work.
He's the only one who does understand.
Yeah, he sees it, right? But everyone else say like, oh, you know, Xavier, it's okay. It's like, don't worry, you could try tomorrow. It's
We'll see what happens, right? Like, I get sucked into that.
because they start feeding like, oh, you know, don't worry about it. And then Eric, he was the only one. He was like, you got to change it. And then I started working out. I lost 50 pounds. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, people like that, you know. So, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Xavier. Yeah, I think it's nice seeing your Gen Z, right? You're 19 years old, seeing that too, man. So it takes a lot to learn and, you know, be able to.
That's rare these days.
But I'm very grateful for him, man. Because
Usually to be like, yeah, right. I'm going to go to McDonald's right now. Definitely not picking up anything.
Oh man. Shoot. Okay, so I guess we should probably wrap this in a way too, because I want I guess we were on a discussion of Edu. I guess what sort of dishes can we expect at Edu when you're making right now? Is it good?
Well, I guess our menu at Edu is going to be very similar to what Expat does.
Yeah.
Except for maybe it is a little bit elevated. Kind of hard to sell a steak for $60 at Expat when it's on a paper plate, plastic forks and knives.
Right.
You definitely can't charge that kind of money. So now we are opened up with Ebu, and our handcuffs are kind of taken off. We're not 100% gluten free.
Right.
We are able to make a lot of gluten free dishes. All right, 80% of our menu is gluten free. But we're not locked into that. Like we are
Just having to have that kind of branded image. They actually kind of explore other avenues. You have more space.
Yeah. And now we can do higher end items too. We've got a Japanese Wagyu A5 steak on our menu. We're doing a tenderloin, a Black Angus tenderloin with like a tarragon butter, a tarragon bone marrow butter that goes on top. Nice little Japanese slaw. So yeah, handcuffs taken off, and now we can do whatever we want to do, which is what I wanted to do for the past 6 years since we opened up Expat.
Really?
Because Expat, it has to be gluten free, and it's hard sometimes.
How did you get pigeonholed into that too? Because
when we first opened, we weren't 100% gluten free. The lady came from the Celiac Society here in Calgary, and we had a few sauces that were not gluten free, but the rest of our menu was.
Yeah.
And she told us, hey guys, if you guys change these, whatever it was, 3 sauces and make them gluten free, we'll add you to our group and kind of go from there. And we finally found a gluten free hoisin, which was hard to find here. But we finally found a supplier. We now make our own sweet soy sauce. I think that was the only two sauces that were gluten free. And now our menu became 100%.
it was such an easy change for you to do
It's
that.
an easy change.
And then it will open up to another avenue.
Yeah. And it's been the best thing ever. We thought gluten free, people are going to see and think, oh, gluten free, the food must be crap. And everything, because you think gluten free food, or back then,
That's what people think.
bread was bad, pasta's bad.
Yeah.
It's just everything is
It became like a negative stigma around having a sort of.
So a little bit nervous doing it, but it played out very well for us.
Fortunately, most Asian dishes is all rice, right? There's no gluten.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can find gluten-free soy sauce. You use Chamari soy.
Yeah.
So there's that's the biggest thing is the soy sauce is now double price. That's
Because of that.
is because it's gluten-free. But our prices kind of reflect what ingredients we use.
Yeah.
It's being super successful for us.
I guess I guess the plating is gonna be better. You're obviously right there with the paper plates. You can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
You can only do it just already doesn't feel like you're adding more to
Exactly. And now we got to go in for the new place, go out and pick our china out.
Yeah.
And we've got a variety of different.
Did you have like a designer or?
No, we just we made our menu, and then from our menu we decided kind of what plates we thought would go well with the dish and how we present it. And then we chose all of our china. We chose all our furniture inside, our chairs and tables. We built our benches custom.
What was the hardest part about building it out? Was there anything that was, other than the obviously building code and everything, was there anything that was fun about it?
Designing the restaurant and kind of seeing how it would flow. Doing our patio and seeing how big the patio was, and so now we've got a full-fledged patio. We've got the bar section. We have a middle area with our chef's table. So eventually, kind of after the first month or two, we'll offer our chef table, like our chef's tasting menu. We have a nice big, I think it was about 14-foot table, like a nice one big thick plank of wood. Fits 12 people around it, or 14 people around it. And we'll be doing our high-end tasting menus there. Kind of like $150 for like the 8-course menu. We have our AGMs as Somali as well. So do wine pairings with all of our dishes, something that we're not able to do at Expat. So
is this something that you learned from the catering that you did as well too? This sort of concept? This big tasting menu?
No, we've seen like other tasting menus out there. And just, I think it'd be a cool way for people to experience parts of our menu, and then just things that we come up with.
Right.
And they get to
Kind of like an omakase.
exactly. Yeah. Omakase pretty much means chef's choice.
Right. I
So
actually
it's-
didn't know the definition, but that's
Yeah. So it's kind of like how our main dishes. So it's like it's pretty much a tasting menu, but in Japanese.
Japanese.
So it is like we are doing omakase tasting menus.
Same stuff.
Same thing pretty much.
Actually, I've never been to a high-end restaurant where I've done like a tasting. I've never done. It's always just you choose like whatever menu you have,
Yeah.
and then you just choose this item appetizer. I never actually experienced it.
It's super.
What is that like?
It's super cool. Like you'll get some of the courses will come out and they're one bites. So it's not like you're
You
doing
can try
like
better.
10 big courses. You're doing one course is one bite. Another course is like a little sip of soup.
Right.
So it's not like you're having these big, huge meals for all courses. They're all range in size, and you can have something as delicate as a nice, perfect little oyster. You can have a nice bit of steak. You can have a carrot that's cooked, the best carrot you'll ever have, and everything.
That's awesome. I'm actually really curious too. Like with the name Evie, was there a dish that your mom would have liked on there too? Like
We've got one of her dishes that she made for us. It's like we call it on the menu. It's called Ibo Jones cabbage. Like a tom yum cabbage, like a spicy tom yum cabbage, super garlicky.
Yeah.
Nice and salty, like kind of Charlie cabbage. Definitely one of her famous dishes that she used to make. So a little
I want to get that.
homage to her.
Yeah.
I want to get that. Absolutely.
I guess we should probably wrap this up here.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. Where can people find you? Like, where is this location?
So location number 1, Expat Asia. We're at the Fresh and Local Markets down in AVENIDA. So just off McLeod Trail, like Fraser Drive, 12445 like Fraser Drive.
Yeah.
And our new location, Ibu, is on 29th Avenue and 14th Street Southwest.
14th
So
Street.
it's kind of just outside of downtown.
Just outside on the, okay.
2915 14th Street Southwest.
It's a really busy street there.
Super busy.
Traffic cone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What do you recommend a first time person to come there? What should we try at the restaurant at Expat Asia? See
Ibu, the beets are definitely one of my favorite dishes. We do a sushi beets. I'm talking about curry velouté.
Yeah.
There's some pickled ginger, pistachios, feta cheese, microgreens, a little bit of chili on there.
You know, Joel, you made vegetables taste to me.
Trying to. Well, the cauliflower, so we deep fry the cauliflower and toss it in mayo. So it's
gotta taste good.
it's gonna taste good. But the beets though, definitely took some work, but they're killer dish. Absolutely.
Okay. It was like I want to end this last question is like, I want to know what's your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is, it's super hard to choose from. I would crush a spaghetti bolognese or a spaghetti carbonara, but then there's the Indian food that I just need a buttered chicken and a beef vindaloo, and there's Indonesian, which it's hard to choose your favorite ones. I've just got so many. I literally
had one of these where you mix it all together. Where you had like a spaghetti with like Indian influences and spices in it too, like a kind of pasta that I had. I think I had that one time. That you made some kind of rendition of it.
It was probably just a staff meal, or like, what flavors can we do, and we can mix and match. And but I would definitely say the Asian Asian flavors are definitely my favorite kind of cuisine for sure.
Yeah. Growing up in Asia, probably.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Especially now, I crave it since being over here. That's
Calgary's love to have you, man. Well,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you very much, Joel. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll end the podcast now.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. Perfect. Sounds good. That was great.
Right.
Yeah.
That was great, guys.